guys, welcome back to Dinner with Danny. Tonight we are making Chicken Cacciatore. So I'm wearing my apron I got in Italy again. Okay. Chicken Cacciatore is a pretty simple recipe. Alright, you get your chicken, duh. Peppers, onions, mushrooms, and then if you want, I'm going to put zucchini in as well. But peppers, onions, mushrooms, three basic things you need. Put that in tomato sauce with your diced chicken, boom, you're done. Over pasta. Alright, so I've had this chicken marinating in Italian dressing for a few hours. Boneless breasted chicken. I'm going to try to only touch it with one hand and just cut it with the other hand, and that way I don't get chicken juice all over my knife and cross-contaminate. Alright, so I found with boneless breasted chicken to first cut it this way. When you're cutting, curl your fingers under this way, so when you cut, you can't cut your fingertips off. Alright? I'm going to cut it this way. I don't know if you can see this. And then I'm going to cut it into little cubes, about 1 inch. So yeah, I marinated this in Italian seasoning, Italian dressing, and it really gives a nice flavor when you cook it. It gives a nice kind of robust, like Italian dressing. Get rid of the fat, trim the fat. Okay, and that's it. All right, you could do more than this. I just did one chicken breast. That's all we had thought out. So I'm gonna just spread these out a little bit because I'm gonna salt and pepper them right on the board. That way I can put them in the pan with the salt and pepper side down, and I can salt and pepper the other side. This knife can go away. This hand hasn't touched the chicken. So, like I said before, I have my salt already open, my pepper, my paprika is all open, so I don't have to touch it. Okay, and the salt, and the pepper, and a little paprika for color. Alright, try and get it even. Oops. So here's my chicken. I'm going to put this side down in the pan. I'm just going to cook it in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Probably about 5 minutes each side. And then I'm going to put it on a plate and cover it while I do my vegetables. And we'll be back. Okay, so I got my extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to just one little circle around the pan. So I'm putting my chicken in the oil, trying to get it seasoned side down. Trying to work quickly so that they're not like already cooked by the time I'm working on my last piece. It's not easy with these little tongs. So I got all my chicken in there. Notice I've used 2 different cutting boards. So the one that had the chicken on it can go in the sink, and I have a clean cutting board to work with my vegetables. Okay, so now that they're in there, I can salt and pepper the other side. And put as much as you want. Paprika for color. Yeah, paprika doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, so. Alright. And then we're going to cook this on both sides. Okay. This might be a little high because it's a big burner. Yeah, on kind of a medium to low because after you cook them, you're going to put them in the sauce with all the vegetables. So they're going to cook a little more. Alright. So I'm going to flip these over and let them get settled in there. Okay, so my chicken's looking good. I've seasoned both sides. Turn them over. They've been there for about 5 minutes. And if they're a little undercooked, that's okay, because like I said, they're going to cook a little more in the sauce. These are not very easy to work with. I'm going to turn this off, and I think the best way to do this is with a spatula. I'm going to take these out, and as you can see, I have my plate and my tin foil already even before I started. Okay, so I am going to try to scoop these up without getting a lot of oil, and put them on the plate, and then we'll cover them with foil until everything else is just about done. I'll add them in just to warm them through again. And I'll drain this because I'm going to reuse that pan. But there's my chicken. Cover that with foil, and we'll be back. So I wiped out my pan with a paper towel, and I'm not going too crazy to clean it. If it has a little chicken flavor in there, that's okay, because we're going to add chicken to it, right? A little more olive oil. And now we're going to start chopping. Okay, so I like to get everything chopped before I start putting any of it in the pan. That way you're not still chopping and trying to flip this. And so I had this pepper half cut up already from a different recipe, but let's see. Get rid of that. I'm going to cut off the bottom part here, just kind of at an angle. And with chicken cacciatore, I usually cut them in squares, kind of like 1-inch squares. Eyeball it. Half a green pepper. I get this cool little organic red pepper from Boston Organics. This might be a little difficult to cut, but let's see what we got. Remember, you're just going to pull in, tear out the top, bang out any seeds, clean out the ribs if you can. And I'm just going to cut on either side of the ribs so they get taken out. See what I mean? That we can get rid of. And remember, it's easier to cut it with the shiny side down than try and cut into the shiny side. There we go. Alright, so you get red peppers, you get your green peppers, like a nice beautiful orange pepper. So the red and the orange and the yellow are very sweet. I like to cook with them almost more than the green. But in chicken cacciatore, we like to use all different colors. Remember, colors equal vitamins. So the more colors you get, the more vitamins you'll get. And there's your orange peppers. So big. Zucchini. You can use zucchini or not in your chicken cacciatore. I happen to have it, so I'm going to use it. And I'm going to cut this in pretty big chunks. Probably like almost an inch, 3/4 of an inch thick. Alright. Especially when it gets thinner at the bottom, it gets thinner. Cut them a little thicker so that you get some chunkiness to your chicken cacciatore. All right, onions. I get 2 small ones. Remember, put them in the freezer for about 10 minutes before you use them. It cuts down on the teariness. So I'm just going to kind of squeeze off any skin that you might have loose. When you're buying an onion, 2 things to look for. Smell, it should have no smell, and dryness, it should be dry. You don't want to get something that's moist because then it gets a little gross. Okay, and again, I cut it lengthwise, not this way. And you just cut the ends off. And you should be able to peel the skin pretty easily then. And you probably want to go get that first layer off too, because it's usually a little rubbery that first. Yeah, see how it bends like that? All right. And then I take the core out. I'm going to cut this in thirds. Like that. Spin it. So then I got pieces about the same size as my peppers. Okay. A lot of times what we'll do in the summer is we will grill sausages with peppers and onions like they have at the fair. I'll do the sausages on the grill, and I'll do peppers and onions in a cast iron skillet in the house or out on the grill. And we'll do those in a hoagie roll. And sometimes I'll put mushrooms in there too. And whatever's left over, we cut up the sausages the next night and make a sausage cacciatore, because you have your peppers, your onions, and your mushrooms. Instead of chicken, it's sausage. But we always use chicken sausage anyway, so I'm going to use this. It looks like I'm going to throw some of this away because it's a little gross, but I'm going to cut it lengthwise first. Yeah, it's nice and flat. Ooh, that was scary. Take the excess skin off first so you don't slip and slide like I just did. Alright, so yeah, it's got a little kind of dark spot here. I'm going to cut the whole thing off. Cut the other end off. These are small. Usually it would use just one big onion. But again, you're cooking, you're eating, so you put as many onions as you want. Get your knife in there, you can kind of just peel them apart like this. You can wear gloves if you want, because your fingers are going to smell like onions now. That's a big one. If I'm doing a lot of onions, I might wear gloves, rubber gloves, but there's not too many here, just 2 small ones. Like if I was trying to cut them into little teeny pieces, like dicing them, but I'm done. All right, my mushrooms. So I'm going to cut the ends of the stems off because they get dry and crunchy. And then I'm going to put them in a colander to wash them. And then I'll probably just cut these in half or quarters, so we have kind of big chunks of everything. Alright, let me wash these and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I've washed my mushrooms, and I like to put them on a paper towel and dry them off a little bit. I'm running out of room on my cutting board. I have so many vegetables. So I'll just pat them dry a little bit because they feel a little slimy, but they're also easier to cut if they're drier. Your knife's not going to slip. Okay, now I can start chopping. One of the other reasons I try to cut the stems off is so that you can just lay them pretty flat and they're easy to cut. Now I'm going to quarter these. So you still get a nice big chunk, in your sauce. All our vegetables are done, so I'm going to start the heat on the stove. I'm going to put this on medium. It's a big burner. I should probably start my pasta right about now. I'm going to do rigatoni, penne rigatoni with this. And this is going to take 11 minutes to boil. I'm going to undercook it because I'm going to add it to the pan here. It's going to cook a little more. So I'm going to start our pasta water boiling. Okay, so I'm going to start by sauteing the vegetables in my pan first to get them going, get the flavors started. And then I'm going to add the sauce so they can kind of bask in the sauce. And the sauce will take on the flavor of the peppers and the onions and the mushrooms. And then I will add the chicken so that it can all sit. I guess you could cook it in the sauce, but I think it might take longer. So I'm going to kind of quick start this. So the peppers take longest, so it doesn't matter what color. We're going to throw them all in. And then I'm going to wait a couple minutes and I'll put the rest of it in all together. Okay, look at all these beautiful colors already. Oh. And I'll swirl around and salt and pepper these. Add a little adobo. Again, my spices are ready to go, already opened. Salt. Pepper, a little adobo, Italian seasoning, whoop, whoop, a little oregano, whoop, let's give that a spin, and then we're going to add my world famous homemade tomato sauce that we made last episode. I had some frozen and then I had to thaw it out. So that has been simmering over here. So it'll be already hot when I add it to my pan. So I've moved my pots around a little bit so I can get this water boiling because this is the biggest burner I have. And that will power boil really quick. And it's a medium-sized kind of, and then the sauce in the back is on that small burner, so that just needs to stay warm. And I think it's time to add the rest of our vegetables. There we go. And our onions. Oh, one-handed. Look at that. I don't have my cameraman with me tonight. Mushrooms. My husband's upstairs, so he usually helps me hold the camera up when I need two hands to do stuff. It's a lot of food. I told you, I always cook enough for an army, but you don't think about it at first because it's like, oh, one pepper, you know, oh, one of these peppers, oh, one zucchini, one onion, and it's like, yeah, but when you put it all together, that's a ton of food right there. Alright? So, they're starting to cook. And I think I'm going to add the sauce now. And my world famous tomato sauce. Hear that sizzle? I might have this up a little too high. So, trying to burn it down a little bit. On medium. Remember, don't cook everything on high. Don't. Oh, yeah, that's looking like cacciatore. Alright. Now, since the zucchinis are thick and they're raw, well, all the vegetables are raw, it is going to take a little bit to soften them up. So, we are going to add the chicken in a few minutes. I don't want to overcook it and have it come out dry. I'm going to cover this though. So hopefully that will help everything cook faster. Okay, my water is boiling. So So now we're going to salt it. Remember to wait until it boils. Remember, as salty as the ocean. Oh, I'm going to add my pasta. Pene rigatoni for my chicken cacciatore. You would think I was Italian. I love, love, love Italian food. Alright, the red wine. Just going to give a little bit. That should do it. And not overpower it. Especially since my sauce was so good. It took a few tries, but once I figured it out, it came out wonderful. Wonderful. Alright. Still needs to cook a bit. That's okay, because I still got 9 minutes and 21 seconds on the pasta, so let's cover that back up, and we'll add the chicken in like 5 minutes. Okay, so my pasta just beeped, and it looks pretty good, actually. Should probably test it. Yeah, it's done. It's a little al dente, so that's good. I'm going to shut this off. We're going to strain this into our column. Okay, so I've strained my pasta. I usually use something big like Ziti or Rigatoni or something like that. Didn't have any of that, so this is going to have to do. But I am not going to make the same mistake I did with my pasta primavera, where I try and put it back in the pan. I'm going to put this in the pot. So I'm not going to put all of it back because I know this is a lot of pasta. Oops, that's probably good. It's maybe half of that. And then what I'll do is, ooh, that is cooking up too high. I'm going to put this on top of the pasta because then it won't overflow when I try to stir it. Okay, I'm going to come back when that's done. Okay, let's see if I can do this with one hand. All right. So I still haven't put the chicken in yet because I'm noticing the zucchini that I cut really thick is still kind of firm. So I want to let that cook down a little bit. Because again, the chicken's already cooked, and then if you put it in here and cook it more, you don't want it to get tough and dry. All right. Oh, yeah. I think I made a good call putting it in the pot, not the pan. And if you don't have your homemade sauce that you made last episode, you can always just use a jar of sauce, but don't get the cheap stuff. Don't. There are a couple of sauces that are good. If you have to get jar sauce, don't get like Ragu or Prego. We saw this sauce in the store that was like $7.99 a jar. And we're like, what? But then it went on sale for $3.99. So we tried it. It's Victoria's. And it's really, really good. If I'm not going to make sauce, we get Victoria's. And often it will go on sale for like $3.99. Another good one is Rao's, R-A-O. Again, like $7 a jar, but it goes on sale. So if you can't make your own sauce or you don't have time, those are the two I would go with. All right, so this is looking good. It smells so good. So I'm going to start putting my chicken in, which I had covered over here. I'm going to dump that right in there. Even if a little of the oil goes in there, big deal. It's chicken. Right? You're going to be eating chicken. It's cooked in oil, so it's just chicken oil. I don't know. All right, now it's looking like chicken cacciatore. And the zucchinis are getting softer, so I think another 5 minutes in the pot will be good to go. Okay, so since I put the chicken in, I have cleaned up my space, as you can see. Oh, what's that? Oh, I couldn't. Didn't know it, Danny. So I've cleaned up my space. I put away all my spices except for the ones I'm going to top it with. put all my stuff in the dishwasher. I have this one pan that's going to need to be cleaned, and under here, the other pot that I started my sauce in, and my cutting boards with the tongs and the knife. So that's pretty much it. I like to clean as I go because I cook and my husband cleans, so I like to not leave a big mess. Oh, this smells so good. I haven't made this in so long, I forgot how good it smells. Alright, so we're getting soft on these zucchinis. I seem to have a problem with zucchini. Last time it was overdone, now underdone. Oh, so good. And you can get some shredded mozzarella and sprinkle that all over it, and it'll be all ooey gooey. I don't have any right now, but we're going to cover it with grated cheese once we get it on the plate. Alright, we're just about ready to plate. So, before I plate, I want to come over here and show you. So I have our grated cheese in Tupperware because it's a pandemic, so I emptied the bag into Tupperware because it was too hard to clean the bag. And we're just going to put this in a little ramekin so it looks fancy. I'm going to plate this on the table and bring my cheese. Almost forgot. Garnish it with some parsley. And if you want, maybe even a little raw oregano. Look, it does not look good. All right, let's eat. And there you have your Chicken Cacciatore. Okay, let's dig in. See what we got. Oh, I need my cheese. There we go. A little sprinkle. Oh, yeah. Cheese makes everything better. There we go. Let's see what we got. Mmm. 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 Well, I hope you liked this episode. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. And thank you to all my subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit the button. It's like right there. And click on the little bell so you get notified every time I have new content. Thanks for watching Dinner with Danny.